Okay, this video is going to go over your study guide for Unit 1. So the first section is ordering from least to greatest. What you should do is you should put these all into the same format before you order them. So I put them all into decimal format. So this one would be about 3.3, and this one 125,000. Okay, so if you do that, -6 would be your smallest, and -1/8. Then you would have 2.6, and then the square root of 11, which is 3 3/10, about. Okay, the next one, if you put those in decimal format and order them, so -3 is your smallest, then you would have 2/3, then you would have 1 3/10, and then the square root of 7. All right. The next one says, is the given number a solution to the inequality? So all you need to do is you need to plug the number you are given, into the inequality and see if it's true. So 13 is less than or equal to 8 minus 2. So is 13 less than or equal to 6? No. So you just answer no. This one is 13 is less than or equal to 22 minus 22. 13 is less than or equal to 20. Is it 13 less than 20? Yes, it is. So you put yes. Okay. The next one is the given number a solution to the inequality. And here's our new inequality. X plus 6 is greater than -10. You're going to plug in -22 where X is. So, excuse me, -22 and 6 together is -16 is greater than -10. It is not. It's actually less than. If I plug in 6, 12 is greater than 10. So your answer is yes. That's how you do those. Solve for the given variable. So we're looking for b. So to get b alone, I'm going to divide by h. So I have a over h equals 1/2 b. Then I'm going to divide by a half, which means you multiply by the reciprocal. So I have 2a over h equals b. I think we did that one together in the warm-up. Number 8, 14x plus 2y equals 2 for y. Let me rewrite. So I'm going to subtract 14x from each side. We just want to clear everything away from the variable we're solving for. Now we're going to divide everything by 7. And you can leave it like this. That's good enough. So you really can't divide everything equally. So it stays like that. That's your simplified form. Okay. So number 9 is really an inequality, and I repeated that in the inequality section, so we're going to save that for later. Number 10, solve each equation. So if we follow our to-do list, we're going to distribute. So I have 3x minus 7x minus 7 equals 21. You're going to combine the 3x and the 7x to be negative 4x minus 7 equals 21. If I add 7 to each side, I have negative 4x equals 28. And when I divide each side by negative 4, I have x equals negative 7. Okay, number 11. Same thing, I'm going to distribute that negative 6 to both the terms inside the parentheses. So I have 5x minus 6x. Negative 6 times positive 3 is negative 18 equals 50. And I combine these, I end up with negative x minus 18 equals 50. I'm going to add 18 to each side. So I have negative x equals 68. It's tempting to think you're done. Oops. But you have to divide each side by negative 1 to get rid of that negative sign. So I have x equals negative 68. So number 12. undo this division, I'm going to multiply by -3. If you multiply by the negative in the first place, it'll just save you a step later. So that's canceled. So I have x minus 9 equals -18. When I add 9 to each side, I end up with x equals -9. All right, moving right along. Number 13, lucky 13. I'm going to undo this multiplication by multiplying each side by 4. So I have x plus 6 equals 40. When I subtract 6 from each side, I have x equals 34. Okay, lots going on with number 14. So let's just distribute and see what happens. 3 times 6y squared is 18y squared. 3 times 2y is 6y minus 18y squared equals 3 times y, which is 3y, 3 times 3, which is 9. So we may think we don't know how to do this, but these will cancel each other out. So we are left with 6y equals 3y plus 9. Then we're going to subtract 3y from both sides to get 3y equals 9. And we're going to divide by 3. Y is 3. It looks scary, but you canceled out the scariness in the first line. Okay, number 15, kind of like that. So we're going to do all this distributing. 6 times x is 6x, plus 6 times 2 is 12. 4x times 5x is 20x squared. 4x times 2 is 8x minus 20x squared. So again, these cancel each other out because 20 minus 20 is 0. We're going to rewrite to be 6x plus 12 equals 8x. Let's get the x's on the same side by subtracting 6x. So I have 12 equals 2x. I'm going to rewrite over here. And when I divide by 2, I have x equals 6. Okie dokie. So I'm going to clear these fractions, but first I have to get common denominators. So to get from 7 to 14, I multiplied by 2. So I also need to do that to the top. I think you can either clear now, or you can move this negative 3x over 14 over here by subtracting. So now I have 7 over 14, or 7x over 14 equals -7. I'm going to make this 1/2. I'm going to reduce it. So when I divide by 1/2, or multiply by 2, I have x is -14. Okay. All right, number 17. Let's cancel the fractions this time. So I need to rewrite everything to have the denominator of 15. How'd you get from 3 to 15? You multiplied by 5, and we got to do that up here. So now I have 10x up top. How did you get from 5 to 15? Well, you multiplied by 3. So 3x times 3 is 9x. So now we're just going to clear out all the 15 by multiplying by 15. So you have to actually multiply this now. So I have 150 plus 10x equals 9x. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 10x. So I have 150 equals -x. And we're going to divide by -1. So x is negative 150. Okay, number 18 is an absolute value equation, and if you remember that we have to solve this twice. Oh, excuse me. So the absolute value bars are already isolated, so I have x minus 10 equals 8, and x minus 10 equals negative 8. So when I add 10 here, I have x equals 18, and when I add 10 here, x equals 2. So my answers are 2 and 18. Number 19, again, we have to solve this twice. X plus 6 equals 20. X plus 6 equals negative 20. So I'm going to subtract 6. So I have x equals 14. Subtract 6. And I have x equals negative 26. So my answers are negative 26 and positive 14. Okay, moving right along. So you have to solve these inequalities. So you have to isolate the variable in the middle. So I'm going to divide everything by 8. So I have 4 is less than p, which is less than or equal to 6. Okay, so let's graph that. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have an open dot on 4, closed dot on 6 because of the equal sign. It's an and. So here's my interval notation. I have parentheses 4, bracket 6. The next one, this is an or. So let's solve these. I'm going to divide by negative 3. Remember, if you divide by a negative, you got to flip the sign. So I'm going to graph it. Oops, this isn't equal to. So I have negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6. As usual, went too far. Okay, so we have r is greater than, or r is less than negative 8 this way. And I have r is greater than or equal to negative 6. Definitely an or. Okay, so I have negative infinity to negative 8. And I have negative 6 to infinity. Okie doke. Next one. So we have to, this is an and we have to get n by itself. So I'm going to subtract 7 from everything, first of all. Add 7. So negative 79 plus 7 is negative 72. And then 73 plus 7 is 80. Now I'm going to divide everything by 8. So I have negative 7, which is less than or equal to n. We got rid of the 8, which is less than or equal to 10. Okay. I'm sorry, this is 9. 9 times 8, 72. So let's make our graph. I'm going up by 2s. So negative 10, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4. Oops. Sorry about that. So this is negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, squeeze in the 10. Okay, so here's negative 9 right here. And then 10 is here, and this is your graph. So you'll have negative 9, 10 for interval. Okay, I'm going to stop now. I'll put a second part up.